thank everybody for coming, but obviously we have a lot of other people to thank too. First of all, I want to thank Rhonda for letting us share in this celebration of Don's life. Thanks to both Joshes and Johnny Grimes and everyone here at Workplay for allowing us to come here on a Sunday, which is normally their off day. So everybody go to the bar, get yourself a drink, and tip those bartenders generously, please. I want to thank Tommy and Courtney Williams for helping us make this happen and for all that you've done for the music community in this town. Big thanks to Tony Wachter for helping us put these videos together. Thanks, Tone. I want to thank all the photographers, my brothers Keith and Lee Harrelson, Ted Tucker, John Spicer, Tom Cooper, Billy Brown, Marshall Hagler, Netta Bank, Jack Durham, and anyone else who captured the shots that, of Don and some of the bands that he was in. Rhonda also provided us with some really nice pictures of Don that you'll see as well. I want to thank Travis Morgan. He's tirelessly championed Don's cause for quite some time now, and he's working hard to produce a fitting collection of Don's work, so y'all stay tuned for that. I want to thank all the artists that have come to pay tribute to Don and play their favorite songs. Thanks to Lane McGibney and my brother Lee for technical and psychological support. So I'll turn it over to Rick here.
Yes. Like Mark said, thank you all for being here. I wrote this little thing, excuse me, on the way down. Selma, Alabama, 1974. I had really long hair, a suede fringe jacket, and a brand new Gibson Les Paul. The rest of the world had a band called the Eagles. We were lucky enough to have Dogwood. And I wanted to be just like them. They were this, excuse my expression, the shit to the little guys in Selma. And plus they lived less than 50 miles from where we lived. So it was much better than the Eagles. And today we reflect the magic of Don Tinsley. And I am honored to be here. And thank you for being here.
Okay, I had to write mine down too, cheat sheet.
That's okay.
Okay, I first met Don over 50 years ago. Like Rick said, Dogwood was for me the best band in this area playing original music. And Don's songs were kind of the focus of their sound. He was a singer with a distinctive voice, a guitarist with a very original approach to his instrument, and he looked like a rock star. Dogwood was a great band from top to bottom, sort of the southern answer to Crosby, Stills, and Nash. But I must admit I was drawn mostly to Don and his talents. At first it was just hero worship. I was a fan, looking up to someone I never dreamed I'd get to work with, but a few years later I did, recording some of his original material at New London in Homewood, at my basement studio on Sunset Boulevard, and later at both locations of Bowell Studios. In addition to working with Don on his solo material and with some of the groups he was in, the Mortals, Space Camp, Party Pteradactyls, and others, last but not least, Topper Price and the Upsetters. Don also helped me produce dozens of pieces of advertising music. We hate to call them jingles, but that's pretty much what they were. I would call him up with the most ridiculous job. We need to write a 30-second song about a car dealer, and we have to work his name, the owner's name into it. You know, Moon, June, nice, price, deal, steal. You know what I'm talking about. Don would jump into that with all the energy and enthusiasm of writing a hit song. He'd put his idea on a cassette and send it to me, or just leave a message on my voicemail, playing acoustic guitar and singing. I do remember one time I was given the job of producing a jingle for the Georgia Chevrolet Dealers Association. Trisha Yearwood was their spokesperson, and she was going to sing this thing. So I called up Don and I said, "Can you write me a jingle that sounds like a Trisha Yearwood record?" And he said, "Sure." And by God, me and my Georgia Chevrolet sounded so much like Trisha Yearwood that when we went to Nashville to record her vocal, at the start of the session, she turned to her producer, Garth Fundis, big-time producer, and she said, "This sounds just like something we would have recorded." And of course, it helped that Alice Margeron nailed the guide vocal for us on the demo. Anyway, Don told me a few months ago that he figured he'd written over 300 songs. We had so many of those songs to choose from while putting this together. I know we left out some of your favorites, but here's some of ours.
Would you throw away my blue suede shoes? Yeah, burn the old love letters. Don't you recognize when love is true? Don't you see through me if anyone can, like I'm an invisible man? If you're not blind to the way I feel, well then you see that my love is real. My love is real. Janie, can you hear my heart? It's calling you. Face me, tell me what you really wanna be. Baby, we can make that old love story true. Girl, you know you shake me and make me act like a fool. Despite all that, I really am taken with you. Yeah, I said it, you know I really am taken with you. Say that the love is wrong. I don't think you understand. You know that the love is strong. Why won't you tell me? Yeah. Tell me why love? Tell me why love? You're living your love a lie, just saying those alibis. Give me the reason why you won't tell me. Yeah. Tell me why love? Tell me why love? Tell me Emergency, my baby just declared World War III, and we'd agree no more hostilities. I guess she don't remember when the push comes to shove, it breaks my heart and spills the love. What can she be thinking of? I guess she don't remember. 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 your friend. And now you know you can't go where you've been. And all you wanted was to be at home, just half alone, and dream a song of loving him. You know you did, but that's all over now. It's not your world. Dakota Girl. Dakota Girl.
I'm going to do one, as you would think, from the Dogwood era. This is a song that Don wrote probably in '73. It was like mid-Dogwood period. And it's always been a favorite of mine. He had a way of using the name of places in his songs. Back in Juno, this one, Augusta, Minnesota Turnpike, Athens train, Dakota Girl. It was kind of a theme with him. Usually he would write about something from his life and he would just substitute. He told me one time, Dakota Girl, he said it sounded much better than Calera Girl. So. We argued at the river camp. At first you're staring blind. Both one of a kind, one of his and one of mine. Some things were said that made some sense, but neither could say no. And then the spoken blow, it came too fast, came too slow. The talking seems to spoil it all and ruin something fine. If we were back in Juno, we could have more time. He spoke as if the only things I felt had been dying. Both went up trying, but neither was for buying. We settled up and simmered down and turned around to go. The silence there as though we'd been cut off by the snow. We differ in the way we toy and the way we toe a line. But if we were back in Juno, we could have more time. It's not as hard to know what comes as what's gone on behind. The thoughts I long to find, just what went through my mind. So where there is a question hid of which of us should go, the answer is a throw, one no one seems to know. We differ in the way we toy and the way we toe a line. But if we were back in Juno, we could have more time. But talking seems to spoil it all and ruin something fine. If we were back in Juno, we could have more time. Thank you so much. Look at us. There we are right there. We're playing a wedding out in the woods in that photo. Every hippie in 3 counties was there.
standing all alone. Sunrise on me, just what was done. How you'd run me and draw next one. Moonrise stung me, woke up the truth. It's so funny, and now it's your turn to lose. Sing along for another day when you're more at home. Better love in a better way, or soon you'll be standing all alone. Sunrise holds me, makes me more wise, shows me myself and all of the lies. Moonrise coolly captures a scene. Mainly shadows, if you know what I mean. Sing along for another day when you're more at home. Learn to love in a better way, or soon you'll be standing all alone.
I got to give a shout out, another shout out to Tony Wachter. He produced that track on the CD that Dogwood just did a few years ago, and he also edited that video. So, okay, we're going to have Alice and Doug play a song now.
This is one that Don wrote towards the end of the period before him and Tom Fox left Dogwood. And at the time, Alice and Tom Fox were married, and Alice was the first person to sing the song on stage. Dogwood only played the song probably 3 or 4 times ever, and Alice was the one who sang it. In later years, Don produced a version of this on Lolly Lee that was really good. I got to sing a little on it. And then we recorded this song, Dogwood, for the record we did about 6 years ago, but it didn't make it onto the record. So it's called Mine. You Are Always Mine.
All those times got some things to ask of you. Are you liking what you found? Are you keeping what you find? Is it mine? And is life ever kind? Mine, you were always mine. So it's hard to understand. Love's resigned. Were you ever mine? Well, I got some things to ask of you. Are you liking what you found? Are you keeping what you find? Is it mine? And is life ever kind? Mine, you were always mine. So it's hard to understand. Love's resigned. Were you always mine? Anytime. Were you really mine? Anytime. Were you ever mine?
Thank you so much.
Alice Bargeron and Doug Lee. Great song. Once again, Mark said something about Tony Wacker, but what a great production he did on these videos, and we appreciate that. The next clip is from, I don't know if it was still the Wooden Nickel, maybe it had transcended into the Nick, but the stage was further away from the bathrooms than it was when it was the Wooden Nickel. So perhaps it is at that point the Nick, knock a few letters off and save money. There you go. But this song is The Mortals, live at the Nick, now.
I'm waiting for a lover, someone who caught my eye. I don't want any other little girl for mine. Now, 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 now. I'm so happy when I see her. My cares just fade away. Every problem disappears when she smiles and says, now, 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 now. Thank you very much.
There was a band called Big Dixie. It was me and Don and Tim and Matt Kimbrell.
the most fun I've ever had. So, I mean, I've never laughed so hard in my life.
All right, you ready?
Lipstick on this mic.
1, 2, 3.
It's a game of love versus brawn. She's my queen, I'm her pawn. When she puts her best smile on, a boy don't stand a chance, no. Talk so strong, when she walks so sensible. When she puts her best smile on, a boy don't stand a chance. What a sight to see. I don't know why I hide. This boy acts so foolishly. Guess the secret's in her smile. Oh la la. When she talks, my heart is drawn. When she walks so sensible. When she puts her best smile on, a boy don't stand a chance. When she puts her best smile on, a boy don't stand a chance, no. When she puts her best smile on, a boy don't stand a chance. Thank you.
Was easy, fall in love again. It was easy, saying those things again. I have found her, a woman full of love. She's around her, the one I'm thinking of. Nothing bounds her, she rambles all the time. You can't surround her or finish out the rhyme. So sweet, oh Marguerite. Don't bend your head so low. So sweet, oh Marguerite. And don't say you have to go. It was easy, fall in love again. It was easy, saying those things again. yourself be. No one else can change your life. No one else can make you We argued at the river camp. At first, you're staring blind. Both one of a kind, one of his and one of mine. Some things were said that made some sense, and neither could say no. But then the spoken blow came too fast, came too slow. The talking seemed to spoil it all, to ruin something fine. But if we were back in Juno, we could have more time. It's not as hard to know what comes as what's going on behind. The thoughts I want to find, just what went through my mind. Somewhere there is a question hid of which of us will grow. The answer is a throw, one that no one seems to know. The talking seemed to spoil it all, to ruin something fine. But if we were back in Juno, we could have more time.
Oh, hey everybody.
Hello.
I'm glad to see a bunch of faces that I know and many that I don't know, but I'm Jesse Suttle.
I'm Kurt Jenkins.
And we actually met while Don was working as a producer on a record Kurt was working on back in like 2010.
Mm-hmm.
But I had known Don at that point for probably almost 20 years. And Don was my friend. We used to just talk on the phone about mostly science fiction, and we used to talk about going junk store, like raiding, when we'd go out on the road. I played with Don in several bands, Topper Price and Upsetters. I played with Don in different incarnations of Space Camp, and I was also like the non-official, official fifth member of Big Dixie. And just a Don Tinsley fan, and yeah, he was a big brother to me. I had an older brother, but Don was really like my musical mentor, big brother. Many things he would tell me didn't even make sense to many years later, and always just prolific in his songwriting. This song we're actually going to play, I'll let Kurt tell you about how it kind of came about.
Well, we were in a studio doing some music, and the producer, I don't know who it came to, but there was an also-ran for governor back in 2010 or so, Ron Sparks, and he needed a jingle, and so I think what Mark, that's your name? Mark was saying that, Don wrote a jingle, and I think maybe he asked for just a little bit more money so we could get together and do a recording with a band and record some of his songs in the style of that jingle. And so this is one of the songs that we played for that record, and it's called Fly Tonight.
Yeah. Don wrote all the songs, but he made me sing them.
Yeah.
And so, but that was great because he'd come in there and tell me exactly how he wanted me to sing it. And there's actually a recording. I can hear Don like singing over me, trying to make me sing it right. It's pretty great. So,
yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. girl, my wife. She take my hand and hold it tight. We're gonna fly tonight. Two hearts will beat as one. The wings of love will carry us on. Honeymoon's gonna shine so bright. We're gonna fly tonight. She's my sunshine, burning strong. I'm as happy as the day is long. She'll take my hand and hold it tight. We're gonna fly tonight. Two hearts will beat as one. Wings of love will carry us on. The honeymoon's gonna shine so bright. We're gonna fly tonight. We're gonna fly like birds in the sky, like angels of love in the sky above. We're gonna fly as high as the kite. We're gonna fly tonight. Two hearts will beat as one. The wings of love will carry us on. The honeymoon's gonna shine so bright. We're gonna fly tonight. We're gonna fly tonight. Love you, Donnie.
Love you, Don.
Some of you guys may remember Rick Kurtz, who was in the Mortals. Back in 2010, we had a fundraiser for Rick at my brother's club up on Shades Crest Road, Moonlight on the Mountain. And this next clip is from that show.
We used to play and. But I'm not going to do that part. You know, I'm trying to get her to do the part.
I don't want to make you look bad.
Bird, if you want to come put some bass on it real quick.
He's back.
Emergency, my baby just declared World War III, and we'd agree no more hostilities. I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember. Eternity, we swore forever, now it's wait and can see, but enough's too much, and it's killing me. I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember. When the push comes to shove, breaks my heart and spills the love. What can she be thinking of? I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember. I guess she don't remember.
Thank you guys so much. Rick, we love you, man.
Love you, Rick. I'm glad you're here.
My hope for Don's family, because he loved his family more than anything, and y'all need to remember that. And then meeting his granddaughter today, and she's got his eyes. This is a song Don wrote called "Riding the Wind." My heart is set, its course is to you. I'm following through with my dream. And if I get close enough, I'll undo what ties you down to everything. Don't give up or give in, or count who you are as what you win. You can go for broke or learn to bend. Me, I'm riding the wind. With our hands, we fashion the noose that holds us illusion in thrall. But understand that we can choose beyond win or lose, stand or fall. Don't give up or give in, or count who you are as what you win. You can go for broke or learn to bend. Me, I'm riding the wind. You can go for broke, learn to bend. Me, I'm riding the wind.
Okay, remember Doug said that Don wrote all those place songs. I'm not sure he ever went to all those places, but this next one is called Minnesota Turnpike.
Clouds hanging low on the Minnesota Turnpike. I'm going home. This time it'll be alright for you and for me, the children. I was too lonely, but a man has to find his way, chasing my prairie dream, but it's not here today. Outside of me, child. My dreams were kind, they left without waking me. I remembered old times when we were faking it alone. Clouds hanging low on the Minnesota Turnpike. I'm going home. This time it'll be alright for you and for me, the children.
Okay, many of you know Don is a rocker, a singer-songwriter, a skilled musician, but he's also a family man. Don and Rhonda worked together for 38 years, married for 35. He was so proud when Hunter was born, and even more proud when Hunter brought Danielle into the family. The birth of his and Rhonda's granddaughter in 2016 was a blessing I know he treasured. So here's a look into the life of Don Tinsley, the family man.
How I got here, I don't really know. I was just looking for a place to lay low. Somebody's told me I ought to know there's good living on Spring Creek Road. On Spring Creek Road. So I had to go. I packed my family and took a load. There's good living on Spring Creek Road. There's no cable or picture show, but me and my son found horseshoes to throw. I asked my wife how our garden grows. There's good living on Spring Creek Road. There's good living on Spring Creek Road. Just like my old friends say, tell the truth now, tell what you know. There's good living on Spring Creek Road.
And speaking of family, a few days ago, Hunter sent me this video that he and Don put together. You know, Don played in a whole bunch of different bands, and his songs fit perfectly. It didn't matter what band, what style music, what time period. Here's some proof.
You can go for hold on to a bed. I'm right in the wind.
$1977, Moose right here in the middle, Roger Bailey on the keyboards, myself and Jim Liner from the group Dogwood, and Robert Churchill formed a band called Telluride. And going back to what I said earlier, we were all huge fans of Don Tinsley. So we had a couple of little original tunes, but we wanted to do some Don Tinsley songs. And if you think about it, back then there wasn't YouTube or songbooks, and Don wasn't exactly the guy you'd call up and say, hey man, can we do your song? We need the chords and the words. That wouldn't work for Don. So somehow organically, I'm not sure, but we managed to figure out the words and the chords. So this is a song of Don's called Home, and it's full circle. Doug Lee from the band Dogwood is going to sing the fifth part.
All right, guys, ready, Big Rod?
I can't reach this.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm going home again. I'm leaving now. I can't seem to settle down. I don't know how. This life has broken me, filled me with fear. I'll see my home again, but not those years. My home is on the shore, but I'll have to wait. I'm going back again, but I'm going late. It hurts my heart to know, it hurts my head, thinking of everyone whose lives we've led. All I spent the time it cost to roam, and now I feel like trading it for home. I'll travel south again, I'll travel some. I don't think I'll stay too long, this road's my home. I can't seem to slow it down, I can't feel the same. All that's left is memories, but who's to blame? Who's to blame?
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody again for coming out and thank all these people for playing. I'm going to get Rick to help me tell you the story of the last session that I did with Don. Take it, Rick.
Yeah. 2023, early January, a tornado hit Selma, Alabama, my hometown, as well as Rhonda's hometown. And Don had a passion for that little town, as the rest of us that are from that town that live there still. A tornado, extremely destructive. And I was down at the beach doing a run of shows, and I got a Facebook message from Don Tinsley. If you knew Don, he's the guy that stood in the corner and read a book. You know, he wasn't exactly the guy that reached out often. And I was like, well, that's cool. He said, hey, man, I'm writing this song about Selma, and I think that you and I should write it together. And if you remember how it started off as the long-haired kid with a fringed jacket and a Les Paul, I was like, man, that's cool. I said, absolutely, I'd love to do it. And what's cool about it is that immediately the session came together so quick. Macy Taylor, who's here, excuse me, played harmonica. Moose, right there, we sent the tape to him in Nashville. He put a lap steel solo on it. Leaf Mondorenko played the drums, and Don played everything. And then my buddies at the Selma Boys did the vocals on it. And We raised a bunch of money. It was crazy. As soon as we put it up, it was just insane, because if you're a songwriter nowadays, you ain't making a whole lot of money. But it just came in, and it was a combination of the destruction of that little town and the song and the spirit of people that cared. And it was a pleasure and an honor to write that with Don Tinsley.
This ain't the time to cry in your beer. So much is gone, but Selma's still here. Roll up your sleeves and let out a cheer, 'cause tonight Selma's still here. Dark clouds storming, our little town hides. The twister crossed the river, you could hear the bridge sign. Oh, the devastation, it hit high gear. But tonight, Selma's still here. This ain't the time to cry in your beer. So much is gone, but Selma's still here. Roll up your sleeves and let out a cheer, 'cause tonight, Selma's still here. Hands come together over things that we built. It's a mighty strong bond where the Bible meets the belt. Lord, what a way to start a new year. But tonight, Selma's still here. This ain't the time to cry in your beer. So much is gone, but Selma's still here. Roll up your sleeves and yell out a cheer, 'cause tonight, Selma's still here. Still flows, baby still laugh, the grass still grows. We'll rebuild, of that I have no fear, 'cause tonight Selma's still here. This ain't the time to cry in your beer. So much is gone, but Selma's still here. Roll up your sleeves and yell out a cheer, 'cause tonight Selma's still here. Roll up your sleeves and yell out a cheer, 'cause tonight Selma's still here. Yes, tonight Selma's still here.
Okay, now's the time where anybody else that would like to speak, we got an open invitation. Somebody please come up and tell us something you remember about Don Tinsley. Come on, I know somebody's got. Oh, hell yeah. Come on.
You guys saw all those photos, Dogwood, the most photographed non-famous band in history. We were surrounded by students at Montevallo and who were taking photography courses and were looking for somebody to shoot. And the art professor, John Spicer, and Keith Harrelson, and numerous others. But we were truly photographed a ridiculous amount for a band that never got anywhere. But we tried. Is there a person named Sims Hines in the room? I thought he was going to be here. Obviously, he didn't make it. I met Don on the campus at Montevallo in like 1970. We didn't know each other very well, although we had a lot of mutual friends we were hanging out with. And then Tom Fox had the idea to break away from being in a freaking cover band and do something and try to make it to some degree in the music business. I'd never written a song in my life, neither had Tom Fox. But we I knew Don wrote songs. And like I said, I barely knew him, but I approached him on campus one day and told him about this idea we had, and he had been playing bass in a band called the Carousel from Jasper, and they were breaking up, and he didn't have anything better to do. So we brought in a guy named J.D. Harris, who had been a Montevallo student. He was a little older than us, and he was off campus living in Birmingham, and he wrote songs. And Mark Smith, who had played with Tom and I in the Days of the Week, was in on it, and we started this band and decided we were going to play original songs and covers to a degree that you had to do to work anywhere. And Don didn't even own an electric guitar when we started the band. He had played bass in all his bands before. He was a great bass player. And he was doing sessions at Sound of Birmingham when he was 16, 17, 18 years old, doing bass work, session work. And so, yeah, we started the band. He didn't even have a guitar. I had two at the time, and he would play one of mine. Then he bought that red Gibson SG that all of you remember. That's about the only guitar anybody ever saw him play. But we made a run. Everybody, so many of you know the story. We tried. We had some big-time people in our corner. Paul Hornsby from Capricorn Records, and Alan Walden, the management group that had Leonard Skinner and all. But we couldn't get a record deal, and there was a lot of reasons for that. By the time things started happening with these people, I don't know, we maybe lost a little spark that we had early on. I don't know. It's hard to say. But about Don, he was, and it's probably true of most of you in here, he's the most creative person I ever knew in my life. I never knew anybody like him. He could play like crazy, guitar and bass, and he did it in a completely unconventional way. I mean, he didn't play guitar like anybody I've ever heard in my life. He had this amazingly gifted sense of rhythm. It was just, he was like a machine, and he could fit these little bitty rhythmic parts into a song, things I never would have thought of in a million years. Little bitty rhythmic things that he was so good at doing. And he had a master's degree in art. And so visually he was an artist, musically he was an artist. He was about as unique as anybody I've ever known. All of you, most of you knew him to some degree, and I never knew anybody like him. He was quirky as hell, He was, Don loved everybody, and everybody loved Don. He had this gift for making you feel close to him, and he'd keep you at arm's distance at the same time. It was like, I've never known anybody that quite did it that like he did, And our times together were amazing. The 2.5 years that we were really on the road a lot with Dogwood, him and I were always roommates because we were the non-cigarette smokers in the band. So we always roomed together. So, and that was back in the days when you played a club, you played all week. You played usually Monday through Saturday nights. So we basically lived together in cheap motels. And him and I were always in the same room, and I probably knew him about as well as anybody, I guess. And we kept our friendship through the years. There were times when we were in close contact, times when we weren't. But I was one of the few people, I know Lolly Lee was one of them, probably Harrelson, that in recent years, when he wrote a new song, he'd do a home recording and send it to me on his phone. And I always felt real privileged to be part of that. And boy, he was writing some very different stuff the last few years. It's just different from anything I'd ever heard him do before. But once again, so creative, So I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop right here. Don Tinsley, I loved him.
Good evening, y'all. My name's Leif Bondarenko. I met Don. It's good to be here. It's good to pay respects to Rhonda and Hunter and our good buddy Don. I met Don in the early 80s, and he had a band called The Mortals with Lolly and Rick Kurtz and Bird, Crane, and our buddy Brian Owings. And he was playing a lot of the same clubs that my band, Jim Bob and the Leisure Suits, were playing, and we often did double bills together, and we all, in our band, had a lot of respect for the Mortals. They were doing something different. We were trying to do something different too, and they were getting a big following, and it was fun to watch their progression, and we were big fans of theirs, and they were big fans of ours, and it was just a real creative time. Don was right at the center of all of that, and he eventually was playing in my next band, the Primotons, when we needed a bass player and a guitar player. I think he started out on guitar, and he moved to bass, and he wrote some of the songs we played, and he co-wrote some of the stuff we played, and such a creative guy. He was always writing songs and always had some very intelligent things to add to every situation and guidance. He was sort of like the big brother. He was always my big brother, and I could always call him and ask for advice. And after that, I played drums in Topper Price and the Upsetters, and Rick Hertz and Topper, and Don played bass in that band, and just went from one band to another. And it seems like Don was in about 2/3 of the bands I was playing in. We must have played over 500, maybe 1,000 gigs together, just all over the place, and traveled a lot. Did a lot of them in Alabama and through the Southeast, like I'm sure a lot of y'all here probably did with him. I'm sure a lot of y'all played with him. I don't know who all is here. I see some of the faces when I came in. But consequently, when I met him, I wanted to say this to Rhonda. And when I met Don, I don't know if it was a period of time he was going through or what, but he was kind of a edgy sort of guy. He seemed like at any minute he could just explode on you, And so you didn't want to upset the apple cart too much, And I got to say, Rhonda, after he and you got married, he became this real even-tempered guy that was smiling more and laughing more. And then when Hunter came along, even more so. He was joking around even, It's like that was, that was not like him back when we met. At least not my relationship with him. But so y'all had a really, really positive effect on Don's psyche and his whole life. So God bless you. So eventually I formed my own band, and Don was the first bass player in that band. It's a Johnny Cash cover band, Johnny Cash tribute band called Cashback. And wouldn't you know, Don thought of the name Cashback, and I thought it was such a great name, so we're using it to this day. And Don, I love you and I miss you, and we all miss you, Don. And I know wherever you are, you're playing some great songs, man. All right.
Hello. I'm sure, I'm the oldest one of all these young men that have been speaking. And I got in late on the Don Tinsley trip. My name is Bunky Anderson. And you better hold it, because you're not going to want to applaud. I hated Don Tinsley. For 6 years of my life, Leaf was playing in a band called the Sugar La Las, and he left Don Tinsley and Topper and the Upsetters. And Tim Boykin, who I think he played earlier, one of the most incredible guitar players, played. We joined within 2 weeks. And it all came about at Don Murdoch's place, which every musician in this room knows Highland music. We lived there. Everybody says, for Don Murdoch. we all thought that was like the barber shop on Mayberry. Everybody would come in there and blah, 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 blah. And that's how I got to be the drummer and Topper in the Upsetters, because Topper, of course, did not have a drummer for the night he was playing. So I showed up, and of course, one thing led to another, and for almost 7 years, Don and Tim and I backed up Topper. And boy, we had some times. And let me tell you the truth about Don Tinsley. First of all, he was the most opinionated son of a gun I have ever known. He was more stubborn than me, which is impossible. Okay? I mean, it's impossible. And he would never change his mind about anything. And I love him so much today for being the rock in that band. I would have never done it. He knew how to manipulate all of us and keep us all going. And I've got to tell one great story. Topper, if anybody knows Topper Price, was not a bargain. Okay. On stage, Topper could play as well. Topper was amazing. Don Tinsley taught me how to play blues. We never rehearsed as a band. So I go in and I go, Don, I don't know these songs. He said, I'll tell you. So the first night we played, Topper called a song. I'd never heard of it. You know, I never heard these blues songs. And Don said, you know Statesboro Blues? And I said, yeah. He said, play Statesboro. So I played Statesboro Blues, and it worked great. The next song, Topper called out of something, howling wolf, something that I never heard of. I looked over at Don. I said, Don, what is it? He said, play Statesboro. I played Statesboro Blues 17 times in a row, and Don never broke a smile. He knew he had me. I mean, he knew. And he knew. Don and I had let's call it a checkered past, and he got me. And it was like every time he would do that, he would play this. It was, you had to be a drummer. At least you would get it, I know, to understand how it was like you just don't even know where you are. One quick other Topper Don story I'd like to share is we had done a CD, and it was doing real well, and we got to play a lot of the blues festivals that were out, and they were very, very nice to us. And so we get to Biloxi, I think it was Biloxi or Mobile, and we played the Gulf Coast Jazz and Blues Festival. And we were like right before Gatemouth Brown and then B.B. King. And the way we got all these jobs is we were white. So all the other bands were black and blues bands. And they had like worn them out for years booking the same old bands. And when they found a white band, it was like, hire them. So we got the jobs, and we were out there playing, and of course they didn't know they were getting Topper. So they gave us this beautiful condominium, and so at the end of the night, Don and Tim and I said, okay, we're going back to the condominium, because it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And so we go back to the condominium, and we watch TV. Topper, of course, says, hey, I'm going to meet you guys later. Okay, Topper, okay, which meant we don't know where he's going or what he's going to do. So we all go to bed. At 5 o'clock the next morning, the fire alarms go off. Okay, you could not see. Everybody had their own room. It was really great, but you couldn't see for the smoke. and the fire alarm goes off, and Don is freaking out, and Tim, and we're running for the doors, and Topper is sound asleep on the sofa in the living room with the TV going. It turns out the Topper decided to have a chicken pot pie at 5 o'clock in the morning, so he put it in the oven and turned it on hot as hell and went to sleep. When we were outside and we found it, I physically had to hold Don Tinsley. Don was gonna kill him. Anybody that worked with Don understands those points, right? Y'all know how Don was not the level-headed man he's been portrayed here. That night, he was a killer with killer instincts, and he would not, Topper, we didn't see Topper for a week, which was a good thing. He had to find his own way home to Birmingham, that sort of thing. But there were, in 6 years, you can imagine, on the road with crazy things going on. I love Don Tinsley. He taught me more. I've been playing drums forever before I joined the Upsetters. And I learned more about playing drums from Don Tinsley than I did from anybody, because he knew how to not play was his biggest. Don't get in the way. And he played bass that way. So he and I together sort of had a real good on-stage thing. And it worked great. And I remember going to Highland Music one time, a quick story about that. And I saw Don Tinsley and I saw Hunter when he was just a little boy walking away from Highland Music. And here's Don in his forever plaid shirt and jeans, and right next to him with a baseball hat and was this little boy with a baseball hat and a plaid shirt and jeans. I am a tough guy. I cried. It was the most beautiful thing, and it was the killer. It was Don Tinsley, the bad, the most impatient, and he's with the most beautiful little boy. And I don't know, I think I changed my mind about Don that day. And, Rhonda and Hunter just meant the world to him. And I used to always tease him that the only reason he had them was to make excuses while he couldn't practice or go on the road. And he did, and he would tell me that. But boy, did he love that family. And it was like the main thing in his life. And I left the Upsetters in good shape, and they continued on playing a good while. And Don would call me, or I would call him every 3 to 6 months. We just call and touch base and just, how you doing? I think we became more friends when we weren't playing together. And it was really good. I talked to him like 2 weeks before he passed, and we had like a 45-minute conversation. And I'm just so happy that I talked to him, because he meant a lot to me. And he was just, if you got through all of the Tinsleyisms, he was a really great, loving man. So, Don, boy, I'll miss you. I miss you. I wait for the phone call now. So, one day, I'll see you, and you'll get to tell me I'm playing too much. Thank you, everybody.
Hearty handshake. Y'all remember Don's hearty handshake? Oh, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Okay, well, if nobody else has got anything to say, we're going to give Don the last word. And thank y'all again for coming.
answer's not